Shabbat Shalom. I'm going to be reading the Torah portion today, Vayeshev. It means he settled. Today is the 13th of December or the 23rd of Kislev. I am reading from the scriptures as usual. And our reading today is going to be Genesis chapter 40, Amos chapter 2, verse 6, going through chapter 3, verse 8, and Acts 7, verses 9 through 16. I've been going back and forth on whether I should just start at the beginning, since this is such a popular storyline. It would go back, Vayeshev starts back in 37. It's the story of Joseph and his dreams and him being sold into slavery. You know, there's so many things here. I do encourage you all to go back and read the entire story. But I am going to go ahead and just hold to what I've been doing and just read the portion for today. That's going to be on page 43 of the scriptures. And after these events, it came to be that the cupbearer and the baker of the sovereign of Mitzrayim sinned against their master, the sovereign of Mitzrayim. And Pharaoh was wroth with his two officers, the chief cupbearer and the chief baker. So he put them in confinement in the house of the captain of the guards in the prison, the place where Joseph was the prisoner. And the captain of the guard put Joseph in charge of them, and he served them. So they were in confinement for some time. Then the cupbearer and the baker of the sovereign of Mitzrayim, who were confined in the prison, dreamed a dream. Both of them, each man's dream in one night, and each man's dream with his own interpretation. And Joseph came into them in the morning and looked at them and saw that they were sad. And he asked Pharaoh's officers, whom were with him in confinement of his master's house, saying, "Why do you look so sad today?" And they said to him, "We each have dreamed a dream, and there is no one to interpret it." And Joseph said to them, "Do not interpretations belong to Elohim? Relate them to me, please." So the cupbearer related his dream to Joseph and said to him, "See, in my dream, a vine was before me. And in the vine there were 3 branches, and it was as though it budded. It blossomed, its blossoms shot forth, its clusters brought forth ripe grapes, and Pharaoh's cup was in my hand. So he took the grapes and pressed them into Pharaoh's cup and placed the cup in Pharaoh's hand. And Joseph said to him, 'This is the interpretation of it. The 3 branches are 3 days. Yet within 3 days, Pharaoh is going to lift up your head and restore you to your place, and you shall put Pharaoh's cup in his hand according to the former ruling, when you were his cupbearer. But remember me when it is well with you, and please show loving commitment to me, and mention me to Pharaoh, and get me out of this house. For truly I was stolen away from the land of the Hebrews, and also I have done naught that they should put me into this dungeon.' And the chief baker saw that the interpretation was good, and he said to Joseph, 'I was also in my dreams, and saw 3 white baskets were on my head, and in the utmost basket all kinds of baked goods for Pharaoh, and the birds ate them out of the basket on my head.' And Joseph answered and said, 'This is the interpretation of it. The 3 baskets are 3 days. Yet within 3 days, Pharaoh is going to lift off your head from you and hang you on a tree. and the birds shall eat your flesh from you. And on the third day, Pharaoh's birthday, it came to be that he made a feast for all his servants, and he lifted up his head of the chief cupbearer and of the chief baker among his servants. And he restored the chief cupbearer to his post of cupbearer again, and he placed the cup in Pharaoh's hand. But he hanged the chief baker as Joseph had interpreted to them. And the chief cupbearer did not remember Joseph, but forgot him. And we're going to move on to Amos. That's going to be on page 611, starting in chapter 2, verse 6. Thus said Yahweh, for 3 transgressions of Israel, and for 4, I do not turn it back, because they sell the righteous for silver, and the poor for a pair of sandals, who crush the head of the poor ones in the dust of the earth, and turn aside the way of the meek. And a man and his father go in to the same girl to defile my set-apart name. And they lie down by every slaughter place on garments taken in pledge. And in the house of their mighty one, they drink the wine of those who have been fined. Yet I destroyed the Amorite before them, whose height was like the height of the cedars, and he was as strong as the oaks. Yet I destroyed his fruit from above, and the roots from beneath. And I brought you up from the land of Mitzrayim, and led you 40 years through the wilderness to possess the land of the Amorites. And I raised up some of your sons as prophets, and some of your young men as Nazirites. Not so, O you children of Israel, declares Yahweh. But you made the Nazirites drink wine, and commanded the prophets, saying, do not prophesy. See, I am weighted down by you, as a wagon is pulled down when filled with sheaves. And a place to flee shall perish from the swift, and the strong not fortify his power, and the mighty not save his life. And he who handles the bow not stand, and the swift of foot not save, nor he who rides a horse save his life. And the one potent of his heart among the mighty flee naked in that day, declares Yahweh. Hear this word, you that Yahweh has spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the entire clan which I brought up from the land of Mitzrayim, saying, you alone have I known of all the clans of the earth, therefore I punish you for all your crookedness. Would 2 walk together without having met? Does the lion roar in the forest when he has no prey? Does a young lion give forth his voice out of his den unless he was caught? Does a bird fall into a snare on the earth where there is no trap for it? Does a snare spring up from the earth if it has not captured prey? If a shofar is blown in a city, do the people not tremble? If there is calamity in a city, shall not Yahweh have done it? For the Master Yahweh does not matter unless he reveals his secret to his servants, the prophets. A lion has roared. Who is not afraid? The Master Yahweh has spoken. who would not prophesy. We're going to move to Acts chapter 7, verses 9 through 16. It's on page 1058. And the ancestors, becoming jealous, sold Joseph into Mitzrayim. But Elohim was with him and delivered him out of all his afflictions and gave him favor and wisdom before Pharaoh, sovereign of the Mitzrayim. And he appointed him governor over Mitzrayim and all his house. Then a scarcity of food and great distress came over all the land of Mitzrayim and Canaan, and our fathers found no food. Yet Jacob heard that there was grain in Mitzrayim, and he sent out our fathers the first time. And at the second time, Joseph was made known to his brothers, and Joseph's race became known to the Pharaoh. And Joseph sent and called his father Jacob and all his relatives to him, 75 people. And Jacob went down to Mitzrayim and died, he and our fathers. And they were brought over to Shechem and laid in the tomb that Abraham bought for a price of silver from the sons of Hamor, the father of Shechem. I really encourage you to go back and read all of the Torah portions for this week. The story of Yahweh's hand just forever being on Joseph in the trials. It's amazing how Joseph never lost sight of who he was and the dreams and the visions that Yahweh had given him. His struggles were real. I mean, we all struggle. You know, sometimes I sit back and I think I'm the only one who has a specific struggle or thought or issue in my life. And when I open up about it, I find out that so many people that are around me and I just thought their lives were smooth sailing, there was nothing going on in their lives. I find out that they have the same struggles I do. The same fears, the same stressors, the same, underlying issues. And it helps me to really understand that I'm not alone. So many times I walked through life and I thought that I was by myself, that the things that I had gone through were just punishment, I had screwed up so bad that, there was no way Yah could love me because I was damaged. I was hurt. I was, stick the adjective in there. There were so many things that I felt, so many negative things about myself that I had been convinced of by the abuse that had been in my life. Last week at our Shabbat service, I was reminded that We have to open up to our brothers. It's not just for us that we need to open up, but it's for our brothers as well, because they need to know that they're not alone in the battles too. And I had forgotten that. And I closed myself off, and I had isolated myself. But I was reminded that we can't do that. We have to reach out. We have to let people know when we're struggling so that they can help us, and also so that other people that are struggling with the same thing know that they're not alone. You know, it's important to me to be able to reach out and help people that are hurting. I mean, for the people that don't know my whole story, I encourage you to go to Grindstone Ministries website and look and watch the video that I did on my first Grindstone deployment. Kind of gives you a thumbnail version of who I am and some of the things that I've been through. But I grew up in a very abusive household where everything was hidden. You know, you weren't allowed to talk about it, because when you did, you weren't believed. Because, you know, after all, there's no way that somebody, you know, so respectable and upright would ever abuse someone. So it wasn't until many, many years later, over 50 actually, and coming to Torah, that I finally understood who Yahweh was and how He had been protecting me even through the hard times, even through the abuse, even through rape, even through all of the different things that I've been through. His hand was still on me. And it was on me because He has a job for me to do now. It's not easy to reach out and do that, but I am going to start doing that. I'm going to start telling my story a little at a time, just in hopes that someone that needs to hear that they're not alone will have somewhere to reach out. So please share this with anyone that you think may be helped. And if that's you, reach out in the comments, let me know. If you need prayer, reach out, and I will do that as well. So have a wonderful Shabbat. Enjoy your day of rest, recovery, and get with the people who you love. I know I will. I'm going to be leaving here pretty soon to just go hang out with people that are so important to me. and people who have helped me so much without even knowing it. Thank you.